Hey guys, welcome to another C++ tutorial video, and if you haven't noticed, I already have stuff written on my my IDE, because this is my third take. Because I explained this multiple times, but it just didn't make sense, so this is my third take. Trying my best, alright? Alright, let's talk about data types. So the first one we're going to talk about is integer data type, the int data type. You guys have messed with data types before, and what you messed with was the string data type, and what that enabled you to do is define a variable that you named yourself, like name. So that name would equal some random string of letters, words, and whatnot, and it enabled you to play around with string. And what these are, they enable you to play with numbers. And what the integer is kind of self-explanatory. I can't pronounce that word. Whatever. It's the integer data type. You get to mess with integers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. -1, -2, -3, etc. So that's it. So this is 4 bytes if you care about memory. Next one, the float. You also mess with numbers, but with decimal numbers this time. Alright? Decimal. And double, same thing as float, but it has a higher range of numbers. I'll talk about that later. Long double, you can use that as, it's the same thing as double and float, but it has a higher range. And float has 4 bytes, double has 8 bytes, and long double has 10 bytes. If you're watching this video and you're just starting out and you don't know what I'm talking about with the memory 10 bytes, 8 bytes, don't worry about that. I'm just saying that for other people to hear about and for myself in the future to look at, because it's probably important to know about the data things, the memory, for, I don't know, some kind of data job in the future. So yeah, this is 4, this is 4, this is 8, this is 10 bytes. And about the range of numbers, like a range 1 through 10, int can use a small range, actually. Well, not a small range. It can use -2 million to +2 million. That's its range. Float, it can use a bigger range. Double is a bigger range. Long double is even bigger range. So I wouldn't even worry about the numbers unless you're going to really, really big numbers. And I really doubt you'll be using those in a while, especially if you're a beginner. So just think of this as the smallest range, bigger range, biggest range. And there are other data types that mess around with numbers, but I'm not going to talk about those because some of those are kind of useless and some of those are a bit just too much right now. So these are data types. You define a variable, call a variable like number equals an integer or a float, a double number or a long double number. So yeah, let's move on to operators. Plus, minus, multiply, divide, and you guys know what those are if you've been in math class. And what these enables you to do is to do arithmetic with numbers in C++. Isn't that cool? So yeah. And now to the part that I kind of suck at explaining at, and hopefully this is the best take. Alright. Set width. And what set width does is basically adding spaces. You use this to add spaces between numbers. There are other ways to do it, but this is probably one of the ways. All right. And if you put a number in here, like 5, it will create. This is not the best term, but it will create an array of 5 blank spaces, right? If you put a number in there, it's gonna fill in those blank spaces, right? So if you put in a 4 number big, and when I'm talking about 4 number big, like that's 4 numbers big, into a 5 width space, It's going to fill in 4 of those spaces and leave out a space in front of it. It will leave a space in front of it, and that's how C++ works. And that's how you put a space in between numbers, right? And I'm going to actually show you this. So if you put a set with 5 here, and you put in a 4 big number here, it's going to fill in these and put a space here. And yeah, I'm going to show you this in code. I'm going to show an example of it. I'm going to delete this. And what I did here, I included IO stream, I included IO manip. You need this for set width and set precision, by the way. So include this to actually use those, because it's not in IO stream. I got my namespace there. I got my declaration here. I defined number to be a double, and I made it equal to 1. And I defined another number to be num2 as 3 as a double. And here's my function. And I'm going to do arithmetic with this. I'm going to have an output. So I'm going to have another declaration here, double num3, and I'm going to have it assigned to num divided by num2 equals to num3, and it's going to output. And this is the math I'm talking about. This is the arithmetic. Num divided by num2, 1 divided by 3, because num equals to 1 and num2 equals to 3, and it's going to output 0.333333333. So yeah, so that's probably not a number we want to mess with right now. Let's make that 2. So 1 divided by 2 equals 0.5, right? And let's start. And it's gonna I have it to output set with 6. It's gonna create an array of 6 blank spaces, and 0.5 is gonna fill in. It's gonna fill in 3 spaces because it has that dot, right? So there's 3 blank spaces here and 3 spaces that the number is taking up. And I should show you how. Let's put a random number here, like 3.0. No, that won't work. I'm gonna have another number be in here. Double num34 equals 3. Okay, set with 6. I'm gonna have it see out a number. Actually, I'm gonna show you how it can have spaces between other numbers. So this should work. It should have a space in between them. Should be 3, and then right 3. That's all out on its own. How C++ works is kind of logical. It first outputs. You're outputting to cout. So it's going to output this number 4 first, and then have this manipulator here set with 6, and then it's going to put in num3, and it's set with 6 is manipulating num3. So 3 and then set with 6, it has these spaces in here, and then num3 it's going to fill in 3 of those spaces. And that's how C++ works with set with. Now on to set precision. And what set precision does, it enables you to manipulate the amount of decimal places a number has at the end of a number. So to show you, I'm going to change this back into number 3.0. Delete this, and then have it to set precision. Let's go with 3 of them. And what 1 divided by 3 is 0.333333, and hopefully I'm not wrong. I haven't used the calculator for that, just saying. So I did that kind of in my head. set W6 and then set precision 3. And what this is going to do is going to have 0.333 because 3 decimal places. With set precision 3, you define that to be 3. And let's see what it outputs. It's going to be that. As you can see, the set width 6, this took up 5 spaces of that set width because it has this 0, that point, and those 3 3s. And it only has 1 space left over. And as you can see, set precision made it cut off right here where it has 3 decimal places. And that's what set precision does. And these two things are called manipulators, and they come from IO manip, right? IO manip, and IO is input output. So this is a file somewhere on your computer, and you have to include this IO manip. Manip is short for manipulator. All right, I think that's all I needed to talk about, and that actually made a lot more sense than the last times I was talking about it. And it probably didn't make a lot of sense to you at all. So if you have any questions, put it in the comments, I'll clarify. But I think this is the last take I'm going to do because I'm tired of this. And this is a log to myself, I'm selfish, blah blah blah, whatever. I care about you guys too, so just ask questions. I'm just kind of tired of recording this. It's 12:33 right now. I'm used to school is soon. I need to get used to sleeping. Alright, assignment 3. And it's this one. And you guys should do this one. Pause the video. Compute the volume for 3 cones using the values indicated below. The output should be formatted like so. Formatted like this. Your output should look like that in that command prompt thing. So your data, you're going to use, your test data is going to be 10.10, all these numbers. And you should have your volume outputted out here. Okay? And the formula for the volume of cone is 1/3 pi times radius squared times height. Alright? You're using that formula as an assignment statement somewhere. Alright? I say alright a lot. Pause the video, please. Pause the video. You paused it? Alright, you paused it and you did the assignment and you're good C++ programmer. If you didn't pause it and you didn't do it and you're just gonna watch the answer, you're not gonna be a good programmer. You need to practice, honestly. Whatever I just explained and whatever I'm gonna explain next, and you didn't do the program, you're gonna forget all of it. Honestly, you're just gonna not remember it. C++ is a programming itself. Programming as a subject. You need to actually do it. That's the only way you're gonna learn how to do this. Engineering is all about hands-on. But, modern day, there's a lot of things that aren't hands-on. You don't get to work what you want to work as. But, yeah, I'm rambling again. But whatever. So I'm going to show you the answer of that assignment now. If you didn't do the assignment, you're a dickwad. Alright. There's the assignment. Let's get started with this. I got my libraries here for IOStream. I did some string stuff because the way it wanted to, format my answer. I included my IO manip. This includes set precision. How nice I was putting this in this comment. So smart. Using namespace std. Still need a research for that. Got my declarations here. I made pi a constant double because that's probably useful to use in your program rather than typing this over and over again. So if you're clever enough to actually do that, I congratulate you. And I did all these, make it easier on myself to find all those numbers. Right. And then I got this volume. I have what I'm going to output as volume, I have the assignment state that follows along with it, and that's the formula we used, 1/3 times pi radius squared. I haven't talked about it, but I left you guys to actually do it and try to figure out yourselves, as programmers should do. There is a library that includes squared, I think, but it's a lot easier just to have it multiplied by itself. And here you go. Times height, and that's the formula we're using this whole time. And since we're using different numbers, values for each volume, we're gonna use different declarations. And then the way it formatted it, the way it wanted to format, I just did this as the top part of the table, and I commented there. Cool. Good job, Past John. And then I have it see out. Oh yeah, by the way, fixed. What fixed does, it forces the program to be decimal, to output decimal numbers. If you put scientific here instead, what it's going to do, you know, like if you use a calculator and you put in some big number and you multiply it by like 10 or something, it's going to have like that big E right next to it and then some number, right? That's scientific. Like 1 times 10 to the 32nd. That's scientific. 1.0 times 10 to the 32nd to be technically correct, but you want to do fixed here. And then show point. What show point does, it forces a, you probably don't need this, but it forces the decimal to show up. Set precision 2, because, you know, 2 decimal places here, might as well keep it consistent. And see out these numbers. I got my set width here, putting spaces between those numbers to make it look nice. What I do is I code part of it and then have it output. I look at it, then I code another part of it, I look at it, and then I just manipulate it to make it look nice, because you can't just know right off the bat, right? You have to do it a bunch of times and then look at it. Then I got my return 0, as you should. And that's my code. Bottom part of the table, set width for spacers. And yeah, let's see what this outputs as. And if you tried the assignment and didn't have any idea what to do, that's fine, because if you look here, I explained it, and you should go back and try and do it again and again until you get it, alright? Because if you just look for the answers, you're not gonna learn anything. You have to do it by yourself. Just like how I left you guys to wonder about the squared part, I gave that, guys, to you to think about. Programmers are thinkers, alright? I really need to stop saying alright. And look at my output. Yay! This is the answer. If it looks anything like that and you got the same numbers, congratulations. I'm gonna end the video now with that awkward moan. Crap, it's almost 20 minutes. Damn, that's long. Well, goodbye, guys.